You know, first of all, I do apologize if you hear any vroom sounds. Those are going to be like notifications and stuff coming on. Probably in just a bit, too. I just started this back up or just resumed the phone here because I am recording this audio-wise on the phone. But I want to come on and talk about this. And I've talked about this before, and I know a lot of people will be like, well, why don't you just do it? Get it out of the way. Why don't you just do it? Why don't you just, update your computer or your laptop when it needs to be? Why pause it and all that? Well, first of all, when I look at the pause option, if Windows and Apple and Linux and all them wanted us to do the updates, then they would not include a pause option. You know that, I know that. But yet it's there. And even when they get you to a limitation of pauses, after you get close to that limitation being over, guess what? You either can resume the updates and just let them go through, or you can pause again. You can resume pausing. Now, that means you're going to have to download, if you will, 2 months, maybe a whole week, couple of weeks, I should say, worth of update, but 2 months worth of updates. And that's fine. That's fine. But you know what's interesting, though? And I've mentioned this before. It's like if you want people to do the updates, then why even have them in there? Why even, or have the, what I should say is why even have the pause option in there? Because it makes no sense. If you want people to do the updates, don't include a pause option because people will be tempted to use it so they don't get interrupted all of a sudden when they're trying to work on a project. Or they're trying to look something up or trying to apply for work or do their taxes or whatever. They won't get interrupted. Why? So the question is, why even have it there if you are persistent to make the update happen? Because I've looked this up online. I've asked the computer, I've Googled this time and time again. I've Gemini'd this. I've Binged this, all that. And they've all said the same thing, that even though you could pause the updates, the computer, the way it's built, is programmed to do an update. It's programmed to basically go out of its way and do the update as best as possible, or what minor updates it can do. And it's like, okay, that's understandable. That's that some updates you can't pause because they're very minor, very small. And sometimes they won't come directly from Windows or Linux or from Apple. They'll come from the people that basically distribute the computer, distribute the laptop, like Dell and HP. So it'll come from them and nobody else. But even if that's the case, shouldn't you be getting some kind of notification, on the bottom or upper right-hand corners of your screen, if not the top left or bottom left corners of your screen, saying, hey, shouldn't you get some kind of notification from them, from Dell or from HP, Hewlett Packard, saying, hey, we're doing an update in a minute. Please be off your computer for a bit because, you won't be able to do anything. Shouldn't they be saying that? But they don't. They don't say that. Or shouldn't even with the minor updates, that shouldn't, Windows or Apple or Linux come out and show a little notification to you saying, hey, we're doing minor updates in the background. It might slow down your computer, or we recommend being off your computer for an estimated amount of time. Shouldn't they say that? I think they should. Or when they do a virus protection, a virus and protection update and all that, shouldn't they have a little notification coming up saying, hey, we're going to be doing this at this time. We estimate, this time frame for it to get done, so we recommend not to be on your computer. Shouldn't they do that? I think they should. Same with when they do And same when they do virus scans. When they do those scans and all that, they should come up with not update, but they should come up with a notification saying, hey, we're doing a virus scan. Please don't use your computer for about estimated 5-10 minutes while we do this. That's all they have to say. But they don't. And you know why? You know why? Well, one, the virus scanning is understandable, even if it's a built-in virus protection or McAfee or Norton antivirus, whatever. It's understandable if it's one of them. But when it comes to the updates and everything, the reason they won't tell you, even with the virus and protection updates, which if they put that up, that's understandable too. But with the other minor updates that happen in the background, whether it's from Windows, Apple, Linux, or Dell or HP, you know why? Because they know that if you paused the updates, the main updates, that if they say, hey, we're doing a minor update in the background, and it's a message from Windows or it's a message from Apple or Linux, then you know what that tells you? You know what that is telling you from them? Oh, yeah, we didn't totally let you pause the updates. We're going to still do them anyway. That's what it does. And what it does is it makes them look like hypocrites, and it upsets people, and it causes people, to take their business away from them. That's why they don't put those notifications up, because they know people will be like, well, wait a minute. I paused the update option. Why is it saying it's doing an update? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like if you want people to do the update, then just say, we want you to do the update. Put a message on there when people have the temptation to pause the computer and everything, or pause the updates on the computer. Have a message saying on there saying, we recommend you don't pause. Or if people pause, have a message coming up like asking, are you sure you want to pause updates? We recommend you don't. That way when you recommend, which is usually looked at as basically a strong way of saying, yeah, please don't do this. Please don't do this, and we recommend you just let it go. That will get through to people, because people will be like, okay, you're recommending that we don't pause and we just let the updates happen. Okay, fine, we'll do it. That has more of a success rate than anything else. I mean, when I do my live streams and everything, and I set up, the settings I need on YouTube, one of the settings I have is, it's like how often do I want the ads to pop up in my live stream? And they got 3 options. The top option is less. The middle option is, balanced. And then the other option is, hey, we're going to do this a lot. You'll be okay. So, and basically the one that they recommend is the middle one. Like that's the more balanced one. But they also recommend the other one if you really want to make some money. But the one that's mostly default to that and recommended is the middle choice. So it's the perfect balance. The point I'm getting at is when I do my live stream settings, I will stick with that one because that is going to be balancing out the ads, that get, shown during the live stream. I'll still make money, but people won't be so annoyed with ads just constantly coming on and on and on. But what I'm saying simply is this, in comparison, if you will, to make a point, is if they want us to not pause and we're tempted to, then have a message pop up saying, are you sure you want to pause the updates? Because we recommend you don't. If they say recommend that you don't, again, like I said, that's more than often going to tell people, okay, maybe pausing wouldn't be the best option. But they don't do that. They don't do that, which is why people pause as long as they do, because they don't give them a message in that manner. They don't give them a message in that manner, nor do they give them a time limit. Because even when that time limit comes up, where they can't pause anymore, they're either going to have the update resume without any choice, without any option to pause, or they're going to mostly have the option to pause again. They need to have a time limit. They need to say, hey, after 4 times of pausing this, which is basically a month, you ain't pausing no more till you do the update. And then that's it. That's it. It'll make people do the update for the previous month and that current month. It'll make them do it, whether they want it or not, whether they want to or not. But the issue I have here is if you're so determined to do an update that you are willing to basically push and fight against other things that are trying to work as well, then like I said, why even have the update? Why even have the pause update, I should say? The pause option. Why have that? Why have that pause option? Because it doesn't make sense. And the reason I bring this up is for the second time in the 2 weeks, I wake up and my computer, I keep my computer on, and what happens is, it'll go into standby mode, right? Screen goes black and everything goes standby mode, and it will load. It will load maybe little updates here and there, the minor ones, or it will do its virus scanning, whatever, or virus protection update, whatever. And that's fine. That's fine. And then sometimes when it gets done with like one of the updates, or it's got a notification coming in, the screen will come back on for at least maybe 10, 15 seconds, maybe a minute at most. And then it'll go back to standby mode, blank screen. But for the second time in the 2 weeks, the screen tried to come back on after doing something like that, but all it was a blank screen. Like when a TV, it's on, but the channel goes completely blank and everything. It's not like totally like off, but it's just blank. Like there is a screen, but you see it's a black screen. For the second time that happened. Now, I don't know if it's due to overheating or it's due to maybe corruption of drivers or something, or just wants to get updated. I don't know. But I'm probably going to go with the latter, because it's almost like it was trying to update the system. It was trying to fight against the pausing of the update while something else was trying to, let itself be known. Like maybe 2 things were going on at the same time, and it just said, I'm done. And what's interesting though is the computer still worked. It was working, like normal. Like I looked at the right side of my laptop, and the power light and the LED light were operating like normal, but the screen came on blank. So I had to do a hard reset. I had to do a hard reset where I turned it off. It went off automatically. I waited. Then I turned it back on, and now thankfully it came back on a lot quicker. It set itself up a lot quicker. The only thing that took a bit was the whole, after you put your password in and everything, your login, information, the only thing that took a little bit was the welcoming, and that was it. Was the welcome. That's the only thing that took a bit. But as noted, and you can look this up for yourself, it had to rebuild. It had to readjust. So what I did is I looked up information as to why this is happening. And again, it could be the drivers. It could be overheating, or it could be a lot of stuff that needs to be, cleaned out. And so, like I said, I, shut it down, waited a few moments, started back up, and it started working again. So my assumption is they might have been trying to do some updates, the minor ones, as well as also trying to do maybe a virus scan, a virus scan, if you will, as well as a virus protection update. I think that's what it was trying to do. And it was trying to let me know simultaneously, hey, the scan is done, nothing found, and all that, as well as probably even acknowledge that, hey, I'm done doing this little update on your computer. But it didn't do it. It didn't do that. Instead, it just went blank. Now, my assumption, I believe, is yes, it was doing the virus scan protection. It was doing the virus scan, no problem. But also, I think what was happening is it was trying to do the update. It was trying to do the Windows update. And I paused it. I paused the update a week ago, so up to the 30th. But to me, it feels like it wants to do the update. It feels like it wants to basically say, hey, let me do this update, let me do it. And it's like, to me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, Why are you so persistent on it? I paused it. You gave me that option, so don't be so persistent, but yet it is. And that's what frustrates me and everybody else around, when it comes to something like this. Because going back to that question, why have that pause option in there if you're going to fight against it? It doesn't make sense. Because you're going to do little minor updates in the background, whether it's Windows, Linux, or Apple's doing, or Dell or HP's, you're still going to do them. So why have the pause option in there? My recommendation to Windows, Linux, and Apple is when you put your software you pre-install your software into any of these new computers, gaming PCs, or laptops, Chromebooks. My recommendation, and it's just me, take the pause option out of take it out of the system. Do not put it in there. Because if you want people to do the updates, leave it. That way they have no choice but to do them. Leave it. That's all I'm saying. Because all you'll be doing is tempting people to want to use the pause update as much as they can so they can get work done without interruptions. So my recommendation, my suggestion, take the pause option out. Do not include it anymore, and just tell people in a report or whatever, however you want to announce it, that you did this because it's too tempting for people. It's causing people to have issues because the computer still wants to do its job. So we're taking it away. So that you have to do the update, no matter what. That's my suggestion. That's my suggestion, my recommendation. Because again, it's great that they give you that option. But if the computer is just going to constantly fight against it, even with the minor updates, and cause issues to where even if it's still working, the monitor screen's not, totally on, it's blank, it's, blank basically, like when a channel goes off the air, all you see is like a blank screen, if it's going to continue putting, it's going to continue doing stuff like that, then just take it out. Just take the update option out. That's all I'm saying. Because it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause problems for a lot of people. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But this is just something I have to talk about, guys, because I know I'm not the only one that's probably dealt with this with a PC or the laptop or whatever, or the Chromebook. It's just something I have to get off my chest. But let me know what your thoughts are. Have you guys experienced something like this to where it's like, okay, I'm going to leave my computer, my PC, my laptop on, everything is fine, but then you get up and the screen is blank, but you can see the computer's working, but the screen is blank, and that you've had to basically go through what I did, and that's restart or shut the computer down, do a hard reset, if you will, wait a few moments, and then turn it back on, and it kind of is back to normal. Let me know if you guys have ever dealt with something like that. And what do you recommend? What do you guys recommend and everything? And do you think it has to do with, pausing the Windows update, previously? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because, from your own experience, because I have a feeling I'm not the only one that's dealt with it or dealt with it and still and probably will deal with it again. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to find me at all your favorite audio, video podcast affiliates like iHeart, Pandora, Audible, iTunes, Spotify, Radio Public, you name it. I will probably be there with my podcast series. Also, check me out at rumble.com at bwroses, odyssey.com at bwroses, vemo.com at bwroses. Also, click on the Venmo and Cash Apps links as well to help out there. Also, check me out at divanart.com at bvw1979, inkbuddy.net at bwroses. And check me out at my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about what I've had? How do you feel about what I've said here? Have you dealt with this in your own experience? Let me know. And until then, I am out. God bless. Take care.